Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yo Nityamachyutam Bhajigmarupavyamo Hatastvaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmudguroho Bhagavato Siddhaika Sindho Yamanujasya Charano Sharanam Prabhidhya Yasya Smaramatrena Advaitavasana Pramuchyate Bodhatmakaya Namastasmai Bhagavate Shri Ramanarshi Hridakashe Sada Bhantam Shantamanandarupinam Jnanabhanamaham Vande Sadguru Shri Satyasayinam Antaryaminam Satchidanandaswarupam Hridyastiti Sada Bhati Priyam Nikila Nigamathasaram Yasya Suramanijanavandyapadabhyadvandvam Bhakta Chitta Bhirama Yatta Prasarati Parimada Prema Pravaham Tameva Mama Sarva Viharati Prashanti Nilaye Sakshat Brahma Tattva Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Kleshanashaya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam
Govinda Govinda.
Parishit Maharaja, in his illustrious life, committed one misdemeanor, and he was awarded the capital punishment for that. Even before the news of that curse could reach him, already he was plagued by feelings of worthlessness and guilt. Paschatapam was there in him. There are two types of tapa that is mentioned, Purva Tapa and Paschatapa. Purva Tapa, deliberating upon one's actions before one engages in those actions and refraining from what one feels is not appropriate. Arjuna had this. Arjuna's grandson, but nevertheless he had Paschatapa here, he acted in haste and afterwards repented and said, my life that was saved by Bhagavan itself has been rendered so useless and futile by my action. Some calamity is going to come to me. Alas, I have indulged in such a terrible way. He was plunged in great and deep guilt. After the news came that he was cursed, immediately he abandoned everything. He gave up everything. He gave up the palace, he gave up his family, young child Janamejaya. He crowned him as the king. All the ministers came to him and said, we will find some way or the other to avert this curse or do something about it. He said, nothing needs to be done. I do not deserve to be the king anymore. I shall immediately retire from this world, renounce this world, and go and seek my own salvation. He came to the banks of the Ganga. He sat down on the banks of Ganga looking at Bhagavan. All his life he has lived for Krishna. Krishna Mayama, he has made his life filled only with Krishna. Now that things had come to such a pass, to such a turn, his mind naturally, automatically went to Bhagavan. Looking at Bhagavan, he called out, Prabhu, why did I commit such a terrible sin? I have committed such a great offense. Why did you make me do this offense? All this time, I was living my life devoted to you, following the precepts of dharma that had been established by my ancestors. Now why did I have to become this great blemish or stain in the entire lineage? He started to self-mortification started. The ego takes various forms. The sense of I, the individuality takes various forms. Some are better than the others. One form it takes is that of ego. I have done this, I am so great. Better than that is actually this kind of paschatapa, this repentance when one does something wrong, because at least now there is a chance, there is a way to correct oneself, learn something out of it. Adinala, this humility is also ego. Make no mistakes about it, humility is also ego. Because ego is the sense of I. Ego is not pride, ego is not arrogance. Those are different words. He is very egoistic. He praises himself or he acts very pompously, therefore he is egoistic. Everybody is egoistic. As long as you have the sense of I, feeling I am this individual, you have ego. You are egoistic. Ahankara is different. Pride, darpa is different. Vinayam is the opposite of darpa vedavara, it is not the opposite of ahankara. Anahankaram dan ahankara is the opposite. Not having ahankara is the opposite of ahankara. Humility is only the opposite of pride or arrogance. So do not confuse humility with the lack of ego. Ego is necessary even for humility. I am very humble. Abrina, who's humble? This individual is humble. So you still believe you are an individual. That belief that you are an individual is what is called as ahankara or ego. That is what we have to get rid of. So we are very clear in this understanding. Otherwise people will think, oh, I'm nothing. That will lead me to liberation. It will not lead you to liberation. As long as the individuality exists in some form or the other, it is not still conducive to liberation. However, having said that, of the various forms that this individuality can take, that of humility is far better than that of arrogance. Because it is closer to the extinction of it. It is not yet extinct, but it is towards that way of extinction. The lessening of ego is still better than the fattening of the ego. Ultimately, non-ego is the best state. That is what we are marching towards, the loss of individuality. So Parikshit is sitting here, mortified by his own actions, praying out to the Lord. Anata bandho sai prabho aparadha kshama karo sai prabho. Is calling out to the Lord, Prabhu, forgive this great mistake that I have committed, this aparadha that I have committed is an offense against you, because Krishna was Gobrahmana hitaya chayana. He was always the very fond and very dear of Brahmanas, of Rishis. And I have insulted such a Bhagavata, such a Rishi. Adanal, I have committed this offense not just against him, but against you also. Adanal, in the aparadhate nidang kshama pan. Jivayatra mein saath raho. Don't abandon me because I have committed this mistake. Stay with me in my Jivayatra, in my progression in my life. You must still be with me, because if you are not there, then what is there in my life? Even though I have committed this crime, Bhagavane, abandon me not. Prema bhakti humko dijo. If only that prema was there in my heart, would I have behaved in this manner? If I had bhakti in my heart, would I have behaved in this manner? I thought I had bhakti. I thought I had lots of bhakti. I thought I was nobody like me with bhakti for Krishna. Everywhere I made Krishna bhakti flourish and propagate. In the end, when I committed this mistake, I realized if I had true bhakti, this would not have happened. Idella avanoda cogitations. Adanal he is saying, Prema bhakti humko dijo, Hridaya mandir se mat jao, Krishna mere Hridaya mandir se mat jao, Charanamrita seva dijo Prabhu. Don't abandon me, don't go away from my heart because I have committed this mistake, Prabhu. Somehow redeem me. The only way to be redeemed is Charanamrita Seva Dijo. Give me once again the opportunity to serve you, serve your lotus feet, serve those who are devoted to you. No matter how many janmas I take, my children, even in the forthcoming births at least, let bhakti be there in my heart. In the birth I have committed such a great mistake. Anna, going forward at least let me have that kind of Bhakti. Let me never commit such a mistake again. Let such durbuddhi never enter into my mind again. He prays. On seeing the genuine repentance of Parikshit, immediately all the rishis, the sages, the great ones all appear there. Atri Vashishtas Chavanaha Sharadvan Arishta Nemi Brigurangirascha Parasharo Gadisuto Atarama. All of those great Mahatmas. Agastya, Dvaipayana, Narada, all of them appeared there, Devala, all of them appeared there, they all surrounded the king. They all sat around the king. The king had felt abandoned. The king had thought, I have committed a grave sin against Brahmanas and Varta. All the sages came and sat here as he was sitting in the banks of Ganga, having given up 7 days to live. In the 7 days, what did he want to do? There was no bucket list for him. No one is, I have to do this, I have to do this. There is many things that he had not done. It's not that he had done everything in life. He had also had many things that had been left undone. But he thought, enough. What is the point of all of that? What do I need to do? I'm about to die. I'm going to die in 7 days. Parikshit says, but Parikshit's curse is there on all of us also. Because after some set of 7 days, we are also going to die. Several multiples of 7 may be there, but ultimately a week is made up of only 7 days. Somewhere some Takshika is waiting for us also. maybe years later, but how many ever years is also made up of so many weeks only. Like that, multiples of weeks is waiting for us also. What should the thought be? Parikshit says, Mriyamananam, somebody who is about to die, what should he do? What should such a person do? Mind. So many Mahatmas have come, looking at all of them, he says, what karuna, compassion you all have. I'm a sinner towards you all. I've committed an offense against you all. If the rishis had a union, you should have all gone on a strike against Parikshit. You have insulted a union member. Another rishi was insulted. We will boycott you. You all come. You've come to me at this moment of my juncture of my departure from this earth. At this time of, even though I've committed such a great offense against you, you've still come. What can I say about this compassion? Show me a way out. He still deemed himself worthless. As worthless I am, show me a way out. I am useless, I am worthless. But they all kept quiet. They didn't say anything. When they all didn't say anything, Parikshit thought, see, even they decided how worthless I am, they're just going to sit here and watch me die. And Bhagavane Krishna. Krishna, why did this happen? Krishna, why have I been abandoned like this? Is this why you came and saved me in the womb that day when I was about to die? I never had the good opportunity of living and spending time with you. And as soon as I was born, you finished your avataram, you went away, my ancestors went away, I was crowned as the king at a young age, and I lived my life. I tried to do whatever I could of the best of my ability. I never had the opportunity of seeing you, of spending time with you like my grandfathers did. I've heard so much. And I didn't get the chance, I didn't get the opportunity. Now, I've committed such a crime, at least in my next birth, bless me so that I can attain you. A thought came into his mind. He was confident that he will have another birth because of his sins. But at least he said, in next birth, let me not have such a mistaken mind. Instead, let bhakti alone remain for you and for your devotees. He was constantly praying Dirgha. Yesterday I told you of that great spiritual rule, where there is hunger, food will be delivered. Wherever you are, it will be delivered. Adanal ingiyum enna achu. Tatra bhavadvya bhagavan vyasaputro yadrichaya gamatamano anapekshaha alakshalingo nijalabatushto vritascha balair avadutavesha tatra bhavat. And it happened. Tatra abhavat, there appeared, it happened. What happened? What appeared now? Bhagavan Vyasaputraha. Vyasa's son, Bhagavan, Bhagavan, the Lord, appeared there. Yaru vantha appadina Shuka Brahma has come. Who has really come? Appadina Shuka has come, but who is Shuka? Inge for Parikshita Sakshat Guru has come. And Guru yaru appadina, is there a difference between Guru and Krishna? Krishna ne vandapala come. As though Krishna himself has come. And how is Shuka coming? Yadrichaya. Not with plan, not out of design. Suddenly, Yadrichaya he appeared. Yadrichaya Gamatamano Anapekshaha. Without looking forward to anything, he's just wandering around the earth and he happened to come there. But then, how can he happen to come to that exact spot where Parikshit is waiting? Yadrichaya, his desire. His will, his desire, hunger is here, food is here, bring it together. Bhagavan is joining those dots all that time. And the confidence we should have, we need not worry at all about our spiritual progress. All we should be interested in is progress. How? In what way? Who will come and rescue me? Alana is not our job. Bhagavan is sitting there joining these dots. Bhagavan Vyasaputraha. Shuka Brahman is appearing. Alakshalingaha. Looking at him, you cannot say he is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Vaishnavan, Shaivan, no lingams upon him, no distinguishing marks upon him. Nijala Bhatushtaha. One thing alone is very clear. One lingam clear. Nijala Bhatushtaha. Eternally contented in having made the real profit in life. Real profit he has made. Enna profit? Labham, ihapara labham onu irukku. Labham ni, ihapara labham ni nu solrar Bhagavan. You are the prophet of all the three worlds, Bhagavane. And the Bhagavana he has acquired, that Bhagavad Jnanam he has attained, that Bhagavad Anubhuti he has attained. Alakshalingo nijalabatushtaha vritascha balaihi avadhuta veshaha. Avadhutan madri vara. Avadhutan அப்படினா one was thrown aside all attachments, all bondages, all nonsense of this world. ஒரு personality he does not have. He's given up even his personality. Appo, if he's given up his personality, அப்படினா how will he be? Tam Vyashtavarsham Sukumara Pada Karoru Bahu Sakapola Gatram. Looking like a 16-year-old lad is coming here. Sukumara Pada Karoru Bahu Amsa Kapola Gatram. Very delicate, tender hands. Very komalama, very beautiful feet, hands, thighs, the shoulders. Ella abhi adakka irukam avarta. Charvayata akshonnasa tulyakarna subruvananam kambusujata kantham. The description in Bhagavatam is given only to Sri Shuka and to Bhagavan whenever Bhagavan appears. Otherwise, this much description for one individual is never given anywhere in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. If the description is given for Shuka, Shuka's enna cholra appadina beautiful broad eyes, high nose, unnasaha appadina mele thookina or nose alaha, tulya karna, ears equal shaped ears are, subruhu, eyebrows are beautiful, ananam, face Vrahana Tejo Mayamar come on the face. Kambu Sujata Kantham. Neck is like a conch shell, built like a conch shell. And again, there is a shabdam. There is a conch mari shabdam. Niguda Jatrum. Covered collarbones. The collarbones are not projecting outside. Starved and emaciated. Covered collarbones. Niguda Jatrum. Prututunga Vakshasam. Broad swollen chest. Not a big power. Avartanabhim Valivalgudarancha. Beautiful stomach. Chest enna, stomach enna, navel enna. Digambaram. Not wearing any clothes at all. The directions themselves were the clothes for it. Digambaram Vaktravikirna Kesham. Hair, curly hair scattered everywhere. Pralamba Bahum Swamarotanmabham. Elongated hands oda eppadi irukar color eppadi irukna Swamarotamam abham appadina his color is that of that person who is the most superior among all gods. Orthan irukane avan kalana yaru na Krishna kalana Krishna's color Shyamam Shyamam Sadapicha Vayongalakshmiya Srinam Manogyam Ruchirasmitena. Appadina varar appadi. Artha ido Krishne varapla. Shukar vandara Krishna vandara antheliyam. Not able to tell is it Krishna who has come or Shuka who has come. Appadi varar Shukar. Enna sakshat abhiye constantly thinking about that Brahman. He is appearing as that Brahman himself. It is not that he is looking like Krishna. Krishna na patha pitambaratoda kamandamalya. Krishna will come with his yellow silks and his beautiful malays and his flute and whatnots. But the Krishna's shayal is there. Physically, it looks different, but what is superimposing upon that physical body is that. When Shuka comes, Parikshit is not able to tell the difference between Krishna and who is Shuka who has come in front. The chain. That Tanmayatva. Shuka appeared there. When Shuka came there, what happened? All the rishis who had gathered there all stood up. Everybody stood up. Vyasa is sitting there. Vashishta is sitting there. Yar Vasishta appadina Vyasa's grandfather. Vyasa yaruna Shuka's father. The Shuka came in, Vyasa stood up, Vashishta stood up, Devarishi Narada stood up, Athana Bere Medanikarana, everybody stand. Pratyuttitaste Munayahan. Athana Bere, they're all getting up. ஏன்னா அப்படி ஒரு தேஜஸோட பகவான் வியாசபுத்திரஹா அப்படி வந்துட்டார். அந்த உடனே பரீட்சித்துக்கு என்ன சொல்றதுன்னு தெரியல. The happiness that came into Parikshit, he fell straight at the feet of Shukha, welcomed him, gave him all the hospitalities, gave him an asanam to sit. He sat in the seat. How is he seating appadina? He's surrounded by all the other rishis. In the midst of all those rishis, he's sitting there. Partha eppadi irukuna, like the moon shining amongst all the stars. All the rishis are, until then they were shining, even vandodane they became like stars. He is sitting there like the moon. Why not the sun appadina? Then all the stars will be hidden. And the moon, what does the moon do appadina? The moon enhances the glory of the stars. The sun hides the stars. Inge what is Shukha doing now? He's not hiding the stars, he's enhancing their glory. He's sitting in their midst. They are also shining, but he's shining more than all of them. Parthan again he fell at Shukhabrahman's feet. Until now, Parikshit has been feeling how worthless he is, how useless he is, how unacceptable he is in that company of sages and saints. And now when Shukha comes, all that feeling of worthlessness flees. All that idea goes away. That ahankara that has been taking the form of repentance has also destroyed, has been destroyed, is disappearing. He just fell at the feet of Shukhabrahman. Janam Kripaya titirupena bhavadbhihi tirthakaha kritaha. Kripaya. There you have come here. For what purpose again? Kripadane. Compassion, that unique force, Mahashakti called compassion, has moved you and has brought you here at this point in time when I am looking desperately for a way out. What can I say? Until now he was feeling, Krishna, why did you save me? Krishna, why did you save me? This is the mark of a guru. When the guru comes, what happens? Parikshit says, Api me Bhagavan Pritaha, Api me Bhagavan Pritaha, Krishna Pandu Sutta Priya. Api me Bhagavan Pritaha. Bhagavan is pleased with me. My Bhagavan is pleased with me. My Krishna is pleased with me. Yen appadina, the service that was rendered to him by my grandparents, looking at all that service, he decided not to abandon me. Instead, he has come here in your form. Bhagavan has accepted me. Otherwise, anyatate avyaktagate darshanam naha khatam nrinam nitaram mriyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyasa. Otherwise, is it possible for people like me to have your darshan? You are wandering around incognito, unseen. You do not wish to be seen by everybody. Adanal you are just for me to have darshan now in this juncture, there is only one reason. Abhime Bhagavan Pritaha. Krishna is pleased with me. Krishna is happy with me. That is why he is giving. Krishna, why did I commit this sin? Why did you even save me? Now he says, now I know why Krishna saved me. Krishna gave me darshan in the womb. I got Bhagavad darshanam. For what purpose? Abdina, inniki I can have Sadguru darshan. So that today I can live to see this day when I can have Guru darshan. Because that Bhagavan came and went. That Bhagavan showed his darshan to me, gave his darshan to me, showed himself to me, but disappeared. And after he disappeared, what happened? Was I emancipated? No. I did not become liberated. I am still caught in the samsara. But now that you have come, what will happen to me? Sadguru Brahma Sanatana He Paramadaya Ghana Pavana He Janma Jadukha Vinashana He. Janmacha Janmamana Dukkham, the sorrow of sin that I have accumulated over births together. Today it's going to be destroyed by your coming here. Janmaja Dukha Vinashana He Jagadodharana Karana He Sai Krishna Janardana He Sai Krishna Janardana He Bhavabhaya Jaladi Tarana He. You have come to me, Sadguru. You have come here to destroy the sins, the sorrows of Ajnana that has resulted in so many births. I thought next birth I should be devoted in her, but now that I have seen you, I have given up that thought of a next birth. For what? You will destroy all the sins. Therefore, there is nothing more left for me. Bhavabhaya Jaladi Tarana He. You will definitely help me transcend this ocean of Samsara Sagara. Parikshit surrenders to Shishuka and tells him, Adha prichami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushasyeha yadkaryam riyamanasya sarvatha. Therefore I am asking you, yoginam paramam guru. You are the guru of great yogis also. It is obvious that when you came, these yogis stood up. Then you are their gurus. You are greater than them. Having obtained this great good fortune of being with you, I do not want to waste this opportunity. Therefore, I will ask you this question. Now that I am at the juncture of death, what is the most important duty ahead of me? What should I be? Yat shrotavyam, what should I be listening to? Ato japyam, or what should I be chanting? Yat kartavyam, or what should I be doing? Nribhi prabho, smartavyam, bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. What should I be worshipping? Who should I be worshipping? What should I be thinking? What should I be remembering? What should I be worshipping? Tell me, what should I be do? What should I do now? At this moment, what should I do? He salutes Shishuka and falls at his feet, surrenders to him with this, the Prathama Skanda, the first Skanda of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which has 12 Skandas in it. First one comes to an end with this. We will bring in the Dvitiya Skanda. From here, Bhagavatam is starting. Shuka is going to give the discourse to Parikshit. The first skanda of the Bhagavatam is still Bhagavatam, but it was sort of a preamble, setting the scene. What is Bhagavatam for? Bhagavatam is for Mukti. We've already seen Gokarna attaining that Mukti. We saw Bhakti becoming rejuvenated by Bhagavatam, but these were all after this event happened. This was the first exposition of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Shri Shuka expounding it to Parikshit. When Parikshit comes to him and asks these great questions about Shukar Bhata, Santoshamaya. Shuka became very happy and these are the questions that should be asked. Atmavad sammatav pumsan. The question that you have asked is the best among questions. Variyaneshate prashnaha krito lokahito nrupa. You've asked this question for the well-being and welfare of all the worlds, O king. These kind of questions are the ones that are approved by and accepted by jnanis. Atmavit sammataha. Atmavit, those who know the self. What kind of question do they approve of? This is for everybody. Must all listen to these kind of important things, because you shouldn't ask silly questions. You know, in that discourse you said that name, what was that fellow's father? What is your problem? Get to the essence. These are not the questions to ask. These questions you can Google and find out. Like Allah, you don't need to ask these kind of questions. What should I do? What should I think about? How should I transcend the samsara? Nidan question. These are the questions that are approved by sages and saints. You said what is to be heard, what is to be listened to, what is to be remembered in Juniye. There are thousands really to remember. There are thousands of things. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nirnam Santi Sahasrashaha. There are thousands of things to remember. Yarkinna. Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Grihe Chugurgamedinam. For those who are only caught up in this world, there are thousands of things for them to remember, hear, think about, learn, know about. Hariyark. They can keep themselves abreast of history, political affairs, current affairs, what is the projections for the future. They can keep themselves abreast of the financial markets. Eda limited ka shuru. Ananta mark. Ana. For those who are seeking the truth, there is only one. Very easy. Adada Bhagavan chota ayye atisulabham. Ayye atisulabham abdina, because what we have got to remember is only one thing. What we have to listen to is only one thing. What we have to sing is only one thing. Those who are not interested in their own spiritual welfare can go and ruin themselves by being busy in 1,000 things. Those who are interested in their spiritual welfare, for them, things are being made very, very easy. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Haririshwaraha Ishwaro Hari Shrotavyaha Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Ichata Bhayam. In this world, there is only one thing to remember. There is only one thing to listen to. There is only one thing to praise or sing the glories of Yaruna Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishwaraha Harihi. Sarvatma abhina, the one who is the Atma of all beings. Ekatma Sarvabhutantaratma. The one Atma is there. It alone is present everywhere. And the Sarvatma, Yaruna Bhagavan, abhina, the Lord. Ishwara, God. Harihi. Hari, Bhagavan, Srimad Narayana, the Supreme Lord alone is the one thing that has to be remembered, the one thing that has to be praised, the one thing that has to be repeatedly heard if you seek freedom from fear. Icheta abhayam. If you want abhayam, freedom from all fear, then Bhagavan is the only thing for you to constantly remember. Again and again chant his name. Dikatan, people are doing all sadhanas. Yetavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janma Labha Paraf Pumsan Yenana Ante Narayana Smriti. Antyakaladalli Chintiso Hage Narayana Ninna Namada Smaranaya Saramrutam Yenna Naligege Barali Narayana. Hey Narayana, let your thought come to me, let the sweetness of your name come into my lips in a part. Antyakaladalli, when the last moment of our life comes, above the purpose of living our life itself, Shuka says, Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtayana, the reason why we are doing all kinds of yoga, or the reason why we are doing all kinds of dharma, etc., is only so that at the last moment, Ante Narayana Smritihi, the memory of the Lord will arise in us as we give up this body. Because whatever it is that you think about in the last moment of this life is what you will attain to after this life. If it is Bhagavan that you think about, then it is Bhagavan that you attain. If it is anything else in this world that you think about, it is that you will attain. This is another big spiritual law that cannot be changed. Bhagavan states it in the Gita. We are living our life, the entire life, no matter how long it is, we are living it for that one moment, actually speaking. We are living this entire long life for just one moment. That moment when life departs. Appa enna na? Govind naam lekar, Govind naam lekar, mera praan tan se nikle. Itna to karna Swami, jab praan tan se nikle. Govind naam lekar, Govind naam lekar, mera praan tan se nikle. Do this much, Swami, that when this life departs from this body, let the name Govinda remain upon my lips. Ante Narayana Smritihi Nichodashaka. That is why we are living our lives. Adela, we have 7 days. There was a king called Katvanga. Katvanga fought in the war alongside the Devas, helping them against Asuras. He helped them greatly. The Devas won. And at the end of it, they all said, we'll give you a boon. What boon do you want? But he said, tell me how long I have still left to live. How long is my lifespan from this point onwards? Are you sure you want to know this? Are you really sure you want to know it? Yes, tell me. Muhurtam. You have got about 48 minutes left in your life. You're going to die in the next hour. Your lifespan has come to an end. You're going to die in the next hour. Shonan, thank you. Thank you. Paul Shonne, thank you very much. Muhurtat sarvamutsrujya gatavan abhayam harim. In that little time that he had, he gave up everything. He gave up everything, settled down, sat down, placed his entire mind on Hari and attained moksha. How long did you say you have again? 7 days. 7 days you have. Sit down. In 48 minutes, he attained moksha. What is 7 days? No problem. 7 days are still left. Tavap yetar hi kauravya saptaham jivitavadihi upakalpyata tatsarvam tavatyat samparayikam. Adanala, you've got enough time left to do. You can utilize it safely these 7 days and attain the truth. Enna pananam? அப்படினா first he gave the one method. He says, like what you have already done, you should come to the banks of the Ganga Thiram. When a person's life is coming to an end, he should seek the holy places like Ganga's banks. Anga, having cleansed himself, having detached from everything, abandoning his hearth and home like a sannyasi, having come to the banks of holy rivers, Anga he should sit in solitude, contemplating on the Om, studying his mind, Jitasano, Jitaprano, he should control his posture, he should control his breath, focusing his entire mind within, with the intellect as the driver, with the chariot as the body itself being the chariot. Otherwise, he is controlling all the senses. He should focus entirely inside. Whenever the mind goes out, he should bring it back again and again inside. Through repeated concentration in this manner, he will ultimately attain the truth. Abdiye point one. அதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்னா ஜிதாசனோ ஜிதஸ்வாசோ ஜிதசங்கோ ஜிதேந்திரியா ஸ்தூலே Bhagavato ரூபே மன சந்தாரயேத்யா. Controlling the posture, controlling the breath, controlling the senses, controlling all associations. Nothing detachment to God. முடியுமா எல்லாருக்கும்? Is it possible for everybody? Perhaps for Parikshit it may be possible, but Parikshit says, I don't think it is possible for me. This is too much. I have practicing. I don't have any practice doing this earlier. Suddenly you ask me to sit down within 7 days, life is going to go, now concentrate. Is this the only way for me? No, there is another way. There is another way. The way is இந்த way தான் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுமே. இந்த way தான் உபனிஷத்துலயே இருக்கு. What is the other way? That is what he is going to narrate in the form of Harikatha, the stories of the Lord, because that will generate this kind of bhakti in the heart, which will take you to such a position, such a state where you will say, what moksha? Who cares? Let it be. Let this mind revel and delight in the Lord. For a long time, I did not understand this concept, personally speaking. In Bhakti, I remember, you were told the story of how a boy, I can't remember if I was there or somebody told us a story. This student looked up at Swami and said, no, I was there. He said to Swami, Swami, I want liberation. I want moksha. Swami said, Chi, selfish. Chi, selfish. Selfish. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. Abba was thinking, enjoy this then. Okay, Bhagavan has come, he is having the proximity of the Lord, he is having all of this. It is all nice, fine. But isn't moksha the ultimate goal? Moksha, how can anything be less than moksha? At that time I did not understand it. Then later on, as you get involved more and more in the sweetness and the greatness and the glories of the Lord, you realize, compared to that, moksha is not such a tantalizing prospect. What is moksha? Freedom from birth and death. The moksha. Hang on, I have not yet died. I'm not bothered about freedom after what happens. What about now? What about now? I want that Ananda now. If I want to experience that Ananda now itself, that Bhagavata Anubhuti should happen within me. That connection, that communion, that union with the divine should happen. And when that happens, you realize, hang on, what is this moksha business? Moksha is then a given, it's a granted thing. Taniya, there is no separate moksha anymore. Now itself you have attained it. Confidence will come into you. That is when I realized why Swami said, enjoy this. Moksha, why are you hankering for this moksha business? Enjoy this. But you should know to enjoy it. You should know how to enjoy it. When will you enjoy it now? Most people suffer it. Most people suffer it. Yes, suffer. Ego, if it is there, it is suffering. Even with God, even with the Guru, it is only suffering for you if your ego is what is operating. He scolded me. He didn't look at me. He didn't smile at me. He frowned at me. I don't know why. What did I do? He is giving more attention to that person, not to me. In fact, you might perhaps be happier if you are not with the Guru or with God. Because with him you will be filled with plagued with jealousy, plagued with ego, plagued with doubt, all kinds of things might come. Why? The ego is operating. That is why I said you must learn to enjoy. Most people will only know how to suffer it. They will suffer the Guru's presence. They will suffer the Guru's company. They will suffer in the Guru's company. Anandam irkadu. Who is spoiling that Anandam? Avadedane is spoiling that Anandam. Who else is there to spoil that Anandam? This Ahankara, I will share my own personal story, which some of you may know because I've told it before. Many years when I was ago in Parthi, in fact when I first joined Swami's college, there was an agreement, unspoken agreement between me and Swami, that every day in Darshan Swami would look at me, acknowledge my presence. Wherever I was sitting, doesn't matter, I also experimented. Purposely I will sit somewhere in the back. I will sit behind a pillar. I will do all kinds of things just to see whether he keeps up his promise. Bhagavan unfailingly would come. Seek me out. Look at me. Eye to eye he will look at me because we considered darshan only when the eyes met. Us seeing him was not darshan. Eyes should meet and the direct eye to eye contact should happen with Swami. Apadan darshan. He is looking at you. Feeling very happy. Every day Swami is looking at me. I used to go for darshan, wait for darshan. When will that moment come? But that 1 second was enough. Swami would look at me. No matter where I was, he would look at me. And especially what was sweeter was when I hid behind a pillar and he would look like this and I would catch his eye. Beautiful. Went along like this for months. Suddenly one day Swami stopped looking at me. Stopped looking at me. Would not look. No matter what, he would not look. Now first few days I thought what happened, maybe, what happened, like, okay, give him the benefit of doubt. But before long it became very clear he was not planning to look at me. So then immediately, why, what did I do? I did not do anything. Why are you suddenly like this? Scolding him. After some time still not looking, crying. I went within and why, oh Bhagavan, every day I can tell you was torture, pure torture. I will go with great anticipation at least today. And Swami will finish darshan, he will not look at me. Cry until the next day for darshan. Hope. Nope. Cry. Between hope and nope, life was like that. Life was miserable. I was there in Parthi, I was seeing Swami every day, but I was perhaps the most miserable entity in Prashanti. The sorrow was so much that he was not looking at me. One day, I was sitting there in darshan, again hoping and praying he will look at me. Swami had come out for darshan, he had gone to the ladies' side. That's how it used to be in those days. Swami was coming, he used to come from the interview room and then go out like that towards the ladies' side, then come like this towards the gents' side, then come towards the boys, and then go back inside. So he had gone out there, and I can still remember where he was. He had come here. And he was standing there and taking letters from the ladies and giving darshan there. And I was sitting and I looked at him, and all of a sudden, something changed with him. I looked at him and I said, why am I crying? You are there. You are visible. You are. This is enough. You are there. Anandam, a great dam was bursting in my heart. Bliss burst out, and I said, what is this business? You looking at me, you looking at me. You are there. Your existence itself is enough to make me happy. Initially, your bliss came. And that was the moment Bhagavan was waiting for, because needless to say, after that he came, gave a big smile, gave a look, and it was back to normal. And from that moment onwards, I didn't require it anymore. Because up until then, the focus was not on him but on me. I was not there serving him, I was expecting him to serve me. I was expecting him to look at me, expecting him to acknowledge me, when I should be acknowledging him. That's ahankarathinuடைய ஒரு வேலை. Selfishness and ahankara, they even in the presence of God, they make you miserable. And at the moment this transition happened, that selflessness came, it said, it doesn't matter, I don't matter. Look at you, look at these devotees who have come, look how many people are happy, you matter, I do not matter, you matter. The transition happened from importance, self-importance, it went to importance, where importance should be given to him. That was the start of Ananda. After that, there were no crying, no tears. Tears were not required after that. Because now, no matter what, whether he looks at me or doesn't look at me, it doesn't matter. You are, and that is enough for me. What can even he do now? If his existence itself is enough to give me joy, what can he do to make me unhappy? He cannot do anything. He is powerless in front of me. Yeah? Bhagavan, I rendered him powerless in front of me. He could not make me unhappy. His presence was enough to make me happy. Can he ever go out of existence? No, impossible. He cannot go out of existence, nor can he go out of existence. Adhanala, this existence itself is Ananda. Selfishness is only because of all kind of sorrow. Adhanala, when you reach this kind of state, then all desires go away from such a person. No desires stay within that person. Even the desire for moksha goes away. Ellam poi varum aanandam da. But Sri Shuka, in the first instance, gave him the meditation of the Akshara Brahman, of the Supreme Self within. But that was the method for those who are already mature enough to go within and focus, letting go of everything else. Fine, what about all the others? Is there hope for all the others? There is hope for everybody. What is that hope? Bhagavan, the Supreme, exists in these two forms. He exists as the Atma within everybody. He is the Atma within all. Ultimately, we have to realize this truth. Without realizing this truth, that he is the self within, that I, that which I truly am, is him. Until that realization dawns, this journey will continue. This birth and death cycle will continue. Perhaps you will be born in a much more spiritual family, you will be very spiritual yourself, all those things may happen, but you will still be born. There's no doubt about it. This final dissolution should happen. That union with him, the recognition that I am no different to him should happen. That I am not the wave, I am the ocean should happen. Just the ocean, and so many waves arise in the ocean. As long as we consider ourselves only as waves, they will be the constant rising and falling, and rising and falling, and rising and falling. Birth and death, birth and death. But when I realize that I am not the ocean, I am not the wave, I am actually the ocean itself. Alai alla ajinan. I am not the wave, but the ocean. When the realization comes into me, then no matter how many waves arise and fall in me, I will not be bothered. Only then can we be said to be freed from the cycle of birth and death. Until then, we will be born in a very spiritual way, perhaps. As a very spiritual person, you may be born, but born you should be. So Bhagavan, the Supreme Truth, exists one as the Atma. For those who can directly go and recognize that Atma as their own very self, finished. Then there itself it is all done. However, for all the others, out of compassion, he also exists as Ishvara, as Bhagavan, as the Lord. And what does he do as the Lord? He is forever busy as the Lord, doing so many things, so many leelas, so many avatars he takes. Why? To remember him, so that we can remember him. Remember Ndarna, it may be difficult for us to remember. He's just a blob of light. If he's just a blob of light, what will you? You'll keep looking at the blob of light, after he bothers you. He doesn't do anything, he just sits there like a blob of light. Oru Jyoti Sarvam, Ishvara, Brahma. For those who are aware of it, for them that itself is enough. By no means is it boring. Adhavadu kabhi ardram jolatir jyotir ahamasmi. Upanishad declares that Jyoti that is constantly shining within me, that is who I am. Adram jolatir jyotihi. Ahamevan jolatir. Ahamevahamasmi jolatir. I am that, I am that Jyoti. I am that Brahman, I am the Atma. They are delighting in that itself. But for all the others, what what does Bhagavan do? He takes beautiful forms, delightful forms, comes in all of those different ways. Adhan children, there are two ways. Hey Parikshit, there are two ways. One, what can you do now? Manasa sancharare, Manasa sancharare, Brahmani Manasa sancharare, Brahmani Manasa sancharare. Wander in the Brahman. Let your mind wander in the Brahman. Let my wander in the Brahman. Sit down, quite close everything. Just sit in that beautiful Brahma Sthiti and live there. Parikshit is looking at Shubha like this. Okay, and then? When are you going to start? When are you going to make something applicable to me? What you are saying is applicable to you, Swami. What about me? Shubha smiled and said, not only for you, for me also. Madashiki pincha, Madashiki pincha, Alankrita chikure, Madashiki pincha, Alankrita chikure, Madaniya gabola, Vijita mukure. You can't think about that formless Brahman, no, but don't worry, the Brahman for your sake took a form. So bhakte chaya manusham darshayantam. For the sake of his devotees, he takes a human form. And what does this form look like? He comes with a very peculiar characteristic, so that if you remember that characteristic, you remember him. Madashiki pincha. He's got a peacock feather stuck in his head. Peacock feather nali Krishna dani. Anybody sees a peacock feather, Krishna, everybody will be able to draw that connection. Immediately, that memory will come. Peacock feather, Krishna. Peacock feather, Krishna. And the peacock feather, or flute or peacock feather, you will draw Krishna. Abhi Bhagavan has taken these particular, peculiar forms so that we can remember him all the time. Madaniya kabola vijita mukure. How is his face? It is capable of conquering even the greatest beauty in this world. Shriramani kucha durga vihare sevaka jana mandira mandare. Shriramani kucha durga vihare sevaka jana Mandira mandare Paramahamsa mukha Chandra chakore Paramahamsa mukha Chandra chakore Paripurita Murali Ravarave Paripurita Murali Ravarave Manasa Sancharade Brahmani Manasa Sancharade Krishna Manasa Sancharade. Has become Krishna. So if your mind goes and wanders into Krishna, it is as good as wandering in the Brahman. Even Paramahamsas find delight in that Krishna. Adanale Krishna Charitram chodre. I will tell you Krishna Charitram. I will tell you the glories and the stories of that Lord, of that Bhagavan, of that Lord Srimad Narayana. I will tell you stories to you. He says, I will tell you all of those stories. Where does the story begin? The story begins at the beginning. Where else can it begin? Yeah. As they say in Alice in Wonderland, when the rabbit asks the king, where do I begin? The king says, begin at the beginning and go on until you reach the end. Very logical. And therefore Shuka also starts Adhau at the beginning. What is the beginning? In the beginning, there was nothing. In the beginning, there was nothing. Nothingness itself was existing there. Something was there. And what it is, nobody was there to tell. Nobody was there to know what that was. It alone was. Apdi oru vishayam irukku. That supreme thing, that supreme vastu, what did it do? It decided to know itself. It decided to know itself. Adanal it created a being called Brahma. The symbolism. The story is told in this way, that Bhagavan was reclining upon the ocean, the primal oceans, the primal waters. And from his nabhi, from his navel arose a lotus. And upon that lotus, when the lotus blossomed, there was a person sitting on that lotus. And as soon as he came into existence, he looked here and there in all 4 directions he looked. All 5 directions he looked. And when he looked in each direction, a face appeared for him. What? Where? One unity face was here. There was a face that came here. There was a face. He looked up, there was a face upwards. 5 faces came. He was called Brahma. And this Brahma, when he appeared, he looked around and he said, what is this? Who am I? Where did I come from? One moment I was not there, suddenly no, I'm here. Where did I come from? Who am I? What is my source? What is my origin? He asked the question. Kaha? He asked the question. Who? First question that was ever asked. First word that was ever created. Was Brahma's word when Brahma said Kaha? Who? Who am I? Koham. Who am I? When Brahma asked Kaha, next 2 letters were created. First letter that was created was Kaha. Next 2 letters came after that. Ta, Pa, Tabaha. This is how words created. Namona a, I ni solrom. Ana, really speaking, Bhagavatam says how, in what order words were created. The first word created was who. The second word created was tapas, penance. Meditate. Brahma asked the question who, from within an answer came, tapaha, 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 meditate, meditate. Go within, go within, go within. So Brahma went within. But when he seated himself firmly upon his seat, followed that instruction that must have come from a divine source and decided to engage himself in deep tapasya. He understood the meaning of tapasya. Meditated for thousands upon thousands of divine years. And as he was meditating upon that, nothing was there. As he kept on meditating, suddenly a revelation appeared, a revelation happened. Tasmai swalokam bhagavan sabhajitaha sandarshayamasa param nayat param. Bhagavan revealed his divine state to Brahma, beyond which there is nothing else. It is the highest state, supreme state, tanpadam. Yanakku tandanan. That supreme state was given to Brahma. Brahma was taken into that state. Normally, if you understand it, you'll say Brahma was taken to Vaikuntha Lokam or this place. It was not a place, it was a state. It was the state of his existence. When we say the word state, not only do we mean state, as in the state of Victoria, state of New South Wales, no, a place. And a state also means the property of existence of a certain thing. This is in a liquid state. This is in a solid state. It is existing in that solid form. Dhamam, Swalokam, what does it represent? That existence of that supreme was revealed to Brahma. Bhagavan revealed the supreme existence. Not only was that existence revealed in an esoteric way, it was also revealed in a very tangible way. Bhagavan appeared in front of him, Adhana, with all of his beautiful ornaments and so on. Elatima vachinda brajushnurviya parito virajite lasadvimana valibhir mahatmanan vidyotamanaha paramadot Pramadottamadhyubihi. Abdina Bhagavan appeared there, Sakshat Shri next to him. At the Pakara, Nanda, Sunanda, Prabhala, Arghana, Abdina Bhagavan's various attendants are all serving him. Bhagavan looked at Brahma went in front of Bhagavan. When Bhagavan looked at Brahma, Bhagavan is okay, we are saying Bhagavan. Who is this Bhagavan? What is Bhagavan? It is left to your imagination. That's supreme truth. Brahma represents a created being. Bhagavan represents the creator. Adi Shivana, Vishnuva, Allava, Maulava, whatever you want, it is that. He takes whatever form you want him to take. Brahma, he took a form. That was what Brahma's projection was. For Brahma's sake, Bhagavan took a form. Vanaki, he will take whatever form you want him to be in. That is the form that he takes for you. Here Brahma is seeing him. On seeing this Bhagavan, Apriya Anandam came to Brahma. Nanama padam bhujamasya vishwasrid yatparahamsyena patadigamyate. He fell flat at Bhagavan's feet and clasped it. Fell at Bhagavan's feet. When he fell at Bhagavan's feet, Bhagavan did not leave him there lying down at his feet. Instead, tam priyamanam samupastitam tada praja visarge nijashasanarhanam babasha ishat smitashocisha gira priyaha priyam pritamanaha kare sprishan. Shloka 3, the word priya, priyam comes so many times. Tam priyamanam. When Bhagavan saw this Brahma who had appeared there, Bhagavan appeared the embodiment of love. Brahma was worthy of Bhagavan's affection. Bhagavan himself was premasvarupa. Brahma was worthy of Bhagavan's prema. What happened? Here is the beloved, here is the devotee. What flows in between? Love, lover, beloved. The moon lover, beloved, and love. Another Murdhava Chakra Priyamanam, Priyaha, Priyam, Pritamanaha. With the mind overflowing with love, Bhagavan caught hold of Brahma by the hand and shook his hand. Kare Sprishan. Bhagavan shook hands with Brahma and Bhagavad. Brahma, come, welcome. Kare Sprishan shook hands and touched his hands. Brahma Brahma is standing like this. Bhagavan Brahma is standing like this, has fallen at Bhagavan's feet. Bhagavan lifted him up, and as he was holding his joined palms in front of Bhagavan, Bhagavan caught hold of those palms with his hands. Kare Sprishan. Pritamanaha Kare Sprishan. With great delight in his heart, he caught hold of Brahma's hands. Why? Because Ivare Priyaha. He is filled with great, he is love itself. Avarona Priyam. He is the beloved, he is the lover. In between his love, caught hold of Brahma's hand in this way. Bhagavan said to Brahma, Vandutera, you have come here to me. Very good. You finally found me out, you have come here. We are very happy. Varam varaya badrante varesham mam abhivanchitam. Ask me what boon you want. First meeting. This is our first meeting, I have to give you a gift. And then I'll ask me what boon do you want, I'll give it to you. I am the grantor of boons, varesham. Bhagavan is self-introduction. Nobody is there to know him. Until now, nobody is there to know him. Brahma is the first fellow who has been created. Bhagavan is like, Varesham, Varadan, Varadarajan. I will give boons to whoever asks. Then what boon do you want? You ask, I will give the boon. It is not easy for everybody to see me like this. Your tapasya is why you have seen me. Therefore, you have earned the right to look at me and ask boons from me. Ask, I will give it to you. Bhagavan said, immediately, Brahma said, what tapas did I do? I did not even know what tapas was. I was sitting there scratching all of my 5 heads, pulling all of my 5 beards, trying to wonder what, who, why, where, when. But luckily for me, you came and said tapaha, you made me do tapasya. And after I did tapasya, whatever tapasya I did, you only know best what tapasya I did, but you revealed yourself to me. What can I take credit for? Bhagavane, you are everything. Brahma saluted him. Bhagavan also laughed, correct, I only made you do this tapasya. It is me who taught you how to do tapasya. It is me who made you do the tapasya. In the end, it is me who is giving you the fruits of tapasya. Pay attention to this. It is me who told you, instructed you to do tapasya. taught you how to do this tapasya, gave you the fruit of this tapasya. Apo, who is doing the tapasya? There has to be a teacher, there has to be the guide, the inspirer, there has to be the grantor of the fruit, but there is also the person who is doing the tapasya. If Bhagavan has appropriated all these roles to himself, he says, I taught you, I made you do, and I gave you the fruit. I taught you, I made you do, and I gave you the fruit. Who did Apo? That is what is going to come next. All this we can sort of understand, and the final one, understanding that final one is called the ultimate jnana. Bhagavan revealed this much to Brahma and he said, now ask what boon you want. I want you to create this world, I've given a job to you, you have to create all this world. In the meantime, ask for a boon. But when Brahma said, Bhagavani, you are asking me to create this world. Anna, really, you are the one who is creating everything. When you created me, you have already created the world also. What is this business of me then creating this world? When you created the creator, Brahma, and what is it I am going to do? Whatever I am going to do is also only done by you, really. But I also have understood in the long tapasya that I have done so far that I can slip and fall due to my negligence. Therefore, give me bhakti, give me the jnana, give me the truth in such a way that I will never get caught in the maya of doership thinking I am doing everything, because once I start doing, that will come to me. Now it does not come. But you have given me the order, I will do it. Anal, however, I will definitely get that pride, that ego, that I am the doer. Adanal, if at all a boon should be asked by me, this alone I am asking. Ma me samunnadda madha madho jamaninaha. May that ahankara of the doership never arise in me. Help me in such a way, grant me such a boon that ahankara doesn't arise in me. Brahma asks Bhagavan. Here, Brahma asks Bhagavan for the boon of egolessness. And Bhagavan initially said, ask me what you want to do. So Brahma also asked, give me egolessness. Bhagavan doesn't say, okay, good, from now on no ego for you. A blanket boon is not given by Bhagavan. Bhagavan doesn't do it. Instead, what he does, he says, oh, is that what you want? In that case, Jnanam paramaguhyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tadangancha grihana gatitam maya. In that case, I will give you, take from me, receive from me what I am going to give you. Learn from me, receive from me that jnanam, that esoteric wisdom, paramaguhyam, which is very secretive, which is very confidential. Yad vijnana samanvitam, that is also associated together with realization, knowledge, the wisdom and realization. And along with that, sarahasyam, the secret for it, tad angancha, and the auxiliaries for it. All of that I will give you, you receive it. You receive it, Bhagavan says. Yavanaham yatha bhavo yadrupa gunakarmakaha tataiva tattva vijnanam astute madanugrahat. By my grace, you shall attain jnana. You will have the knowledge of yavanaham, what I am. Yata bhavaha, what is my bhava, what is my state. Yadrupaha, what are my forms. Gunaha, what are my attributes. Karmakaha, what are my actions. Ellam you will know by my grace. By my blessing, I will reveal to you the knowledge of me, who I am, what I am, how much I am. My forms, my names, my attributes, gunas, and my deeds. All of these things I will reveal to you. Are you ready? Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavan says, 4 shlokas now. It is called Chatishloki Bhagavatam. The entire Bhagavatam is present in these 4 shlokas. Ahameva samevagre nanyat yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetacha yo vasishyeta sosmyaham. A beautiful honor over this. The life of Bhagavatam, if you ask me. Bhagavan himself saying this to Brahma, the first Upadesha ever given by Bhagavan in the history of creation is this. Creation has not yet started. Brahma alone has been created. Brahma has done tapasya and he's encountered the Lord and is asking for a boon. Bhagavan is giving this jnanam, his instruction as the boon. What is this, Abhina? This can be the most precious thing in the entire universe. Without it, there cannot be anything more precious. What is it that Bhagavan says, Abhina? Aham eva sameva agre. Aham eva asam agre. I alone existed in the beginning. Na anyat, nothing other than me existed. Yat sadasat param. In between all of the sat and asat, there is nothing other than me that existed. Past tense. Paschadaham. Afterwards also, afterwards and after that beginning, I alone exist. Yadetacha. Idhellam irukke, all of these things. And right at the end of that creation, Yo avasishyeta, when everything, all these names and forms of this world have disappeared, Yo avasishyeta, sosmiyaham. I will alone remain after all this has disappeared. I alone existed, I alone exist, and I alone will continue to exist for all time. I existed, before the creation as we know it has come into existence. Now we see this world, we see all of us. We see this entire universe. So much of it is unseen yet, all of that let it be. Anna, what is it all? Bhagavan says, before all these things are going to be created by you, Brahma, I existed. I alone existed. Ahmeva, I alone existed. Now you are going to create everything. What are you going to create? What do you think you are going to create? With what are you going to create? How are you going to create? Whatever it is that you are going to create, know that that which is created by you is also me. And finally, when everything disappears, when the entire universe is dissolved, what is going to be left behind? Only me. I am now, I was then, and I will always be. That's Satyam. Aham evasam evagre nanyat yat sadasat param. This is Sanskrit la chonna. If you want a simple English translation for it, Father alone exists, nothing else, nobody else. Father alone exists, nothing else, nobody else. Athanayum thanam avan. Parpanum sherpadavum aroliyum chittiramum athanayum thanam avan. Everything is only him. In the truth of Bhagavan himself reveals to Brahma. Brahma says, I should not have ahankara. Brahma's boon that he sought from Bhagavan was, I should not have ahankara. And Bhagavan's reply is, this information. If this is known, there cannot be any ahankara. Because what is ahankara? I, this individual. Really? You, this individual? When did you come into existence? When he alone is, when did you and how did you come into existence? Who can you be other than him? How can there be anybody else other than him? Prapanchatila, in this entire universe, there is no place where he is not. So unfortunately, sorry to break this news, there is no room for you here. He has occupied all the place, there is no room for you here. We are all seated in this room. If suppose somebody comes suddenly, what will he say? Sorry, no room for you. The room is full. Which room will you have? There is no room for you. Go. There is no room for your existence here because he is omnipresent. He has filled up everything. He didn't come now and fill up everything. Even before all of this was created, he put a seat here. The Saptaham Haramikil no. Mahatmyam also has not started. Wednesday itself somebody came and put their seat here. Thursday Mahatmyam started. On Wednesday they came and put their seat here. Like that, Bhagavan, what did he do? Before creation came into existence, before the universe was created, he pervaded the universe. Where else can this universe exist? Where is the room for this universe to exist? If at all it is existing in him. In him. Is it existing as something separate but in him? Yeah, ocean is there, we see a fish inside the ocean. About the fish is separate to the ocean. Fair enough. When he alone existed, what can that fish be made up of but him? Who makes this fish? He only has to make it. He makes it as the creator. It is existing in him as the universe. It is made up of him as the raw materials. Karanam, cause. What are the various causes? There is a material cause. There is an instrumental cause. The one who is making it, an instrumental cause for an object. Material cause, the raw materials with which the object is made. Normally, if you take an example, they will take the example of a potter making a pot. Vedanta, this is a very common example. Potter makes a pot. The potter is an individual, he has a wheel. Upadana karanam vachindraka, nimitta karanam vachindraka, ella vachindraka. He's got a wheel, potter's wheel. Then he's got clay and he's got water. So what does he do? The potter, the individual, takes that clay and water, mixes them together, uses the wheel and fashions the pot. This is how a pot is made. Now what has happened? The potter is different, wheel is different, clay is different, pot is different. Here, potter, only potter exists. There is no clay. There is no wheel. And wheel is also him. Clay is also him. Even that this potter is called Hari Potter. Jadharna Potter is Shri Hari Potter. This potter is Sakshat Hari. Hari Potter. Maybe she read Vedanta. Hari Potter. Hari the Potter made all of this. With what did he make? There was nothing else for him to make it with. So he made us out of himself. That is why man is made in God's own image. Mamaivam sho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanahan, Bhagavan says in the Gita. And then Bhagavan is revealing to Brahma, I alone exist. In the first shloka. Arthala cholrar, I alone exist. Ana, when I alone exist, you feel you also exist. You feel you are existing, but am I not existing in front of you? You are talking to me, then who am I? Iritertam yat pratiyeta nat pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyam atmano mayam yatabhaso yatatamaha. Brahma, this appearance that you have of an independent existence apart from me, separate to me, is what is called as Maya. Maya, it is an illusion. Not true, it is only an illusion. I am, looks like you are, but I alone am, you are not. Your you-are-ness is Maya, is an illusion. You have no value as such. There was a time when this appearance was not there. And there will be a time when this appearance will not be there. But how can you be called as the real? You come and you go. But how can that be called real? Therefore, it is only an appearance. But even though this appearance is there, yata mahanti bhutani bhuteshu cheshvanu pravishtan apravishtani tatha teshu na teshu aham. And not only is this Maya, where and how did this Maya come into existence? That is because I entered into this and made it appear as though it is real. This projection of yourself is only a projection, it is false, but it appears to be real because I am permeating that also, I have pervaded that also. I alone am, you are not. Your appearance is only a projection. The projection is called Maya. The projection is also appearing only because I have projected myself as you. Adinale in a way, sad asat nu chonna. Yatha bhaso yatha tamaha nu chonna. It is light. It is there and it is not there. It is a play of light and shadow. It appears to be there, but it is actually not there. Why does it appear to be there? Because it is also me. Why is it not there? Because it is not different to me. You understand? Is Brahma there? Brahma is there. Is Brahma there? No, Brahma is not there. Brahma is there? No, Brahma is there. Yes, Brahma is there. Is Brahma really there? No, Brahma is not there. How can both these statements be valid? Brahma's appearance is there, but there is no separate entity called Brahma. Only Brahman is. Only the supreme status. The supreme thing alone is. Now this has to be applied by us to all of this. Whatever it is that we see, all appear different. Each person appears different. Each person not only looks different, but behaves differently, talks differently, has their own mentality, all different. Yeah, everything is different. These differences seem to be so tangible. In fact, the differences are what are creating all this trouble for us in this life. They are tangible, but they are not real. They appear, but they are not real. Because He alone is existing as all of these things. These appearances are there, but they are only appearances. The reality is only Him. The truth that Bhagavan gives to Brahma right at the upfront. And He says, Yetavadev jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanaha anvaya vyatirekabhyam yasyat sarvatra sarvada. All times, in all places, this alone should be your inquiry. You are going to be creating this world, you are going to be doing a lot of action. You do all of that. Now, when you are doing all of that action, what should you be looking for? Your vision should constantly be looking at that basis, that substratum that is behind it all. Anvayam yatirekam lishana. Anvayam yatirekabhyam. These are two Vedantic constructs, Anvayam yatireka, philosophical constructs. I'll simplify it and leave it easily for you. Take it, this is Brahma's example, we'll take your own example. You are doing some action. You are cooking, you are attending to your work. But there is somebody who is attending to that work. You doing it. And there is the other side where it is being done. The doer and the recipients. You see that self in the doer. And you see that self in the recipient. Ida Anvaya Vyatireka. Mantra to remember, Father alone is. Father alone exists. Nothing else, nobody else. Ida Anvayam, Adi Vyatireka. Yada Anvayam Vyatirekam na, the affirmation is Anvaya, the negation is Vyatireka. Father alone is Adi Anvayam. Nothing else, nobody else, Adi Vyatireka. That is denying the possibility of something else existing. Father alone is okay, but now is that not or not that? No, it is not that. Is that person not that? No, it is not that. Nothing else, nobody else, Vyatireka. Anvayam, He alone is. The rendu thing share to domna Anvaya Vyatireka Yatsyat Sarvatra Sarvada. About whatever it is that you are doing, whatever action you are going to be involved in, remember this. Ye tanmatam samatishta paramena samadhina bhavan kalpa vikalpeshu na vimuhyati karhichit. You remember this? If you meditate upon this truth, that God alone is. Here is also God, there is also God. Here a God, there a God, everywhere God, God. Bhagavan could not do anything else. He is not like old MacDonald to have a farm where different kinds of creatures are there. He alone is. God, 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 and everywhere only God alone is existing. This is God, and that is also God. That Brahman alone is Pradhan truth. This is Bhagavatam. In fact, if we can spend the next 7 days only talking about this, this is Bhagavatam. This is the essence of Bhagavatam. The same truth is going to come back to us in the form of stories. This truth can be spoken for some time. After some time, people will become bored of the same. And then what did Vyasa do? He held this truth as the core and then spun stories and stories and stories around it. Each story is delivering only this truth, because what happens fundamentally in this truth? Tannai azhithezhunda tanmayanandarukku ennai uladondru iyattrudharkku. The than, this I that is standing out, has to be destroyed. How will this I be destroyed? When you realize that I does not exist, only He exists, then where can this I stand up? Where can this ego arise? How can this ego sustain itself when you realize that He alone is and this ego is not even there? It is not there at all. There is no room for it. This has to become the dhyanam. This has to become the mananam. This has to become nididhyasana. constantly contemplating on this truth alone. God alone is nothing else, nobody else. God alone is nothing else, nobody else. God in a third person, Father alone is nothing else, nobody else. If you want to think of God as the Father, you can. If you think of God as something else, then that is what He is. But that alone is nothing else, nobody else. Bhagavan tells Brahma, you do repeated meditation upon this. Yetanmatam samatishta paramena samadhina. Through the highest samadhi, become absorbed in this truth. And then you continue your creation. Kalpa vikalpeshu bhavan na vimukhyati karkichita. Even if eras take place, even if yugas take place, kalpas take place, you will not be deluded even in the slightest. If you remember this truth. If you forget this truth, that instant you will be deluded. In a non-I, this individual, if you start thinking, you will be deluded. So what should the thought constantly be? Everything is Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan, everything. If I'm moving my hand, it's not Bhagavan is. Yennaitan varamaki vaitan vaitadandri yennul pugundan. Bhagavan is the one who is present in each one of us. He is the one who is the Antaryami who is making us all move. Yantra rudhani maya yadachanna Bhagavan. Krishna says in the Gita, Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani maya. Ishvara seated in the hearts of all beings, making them move as though they are mere machines. Mere machines. What can the machine do except what it is programmed to do? That there is a power that is making you do like that, we are all doing. There is no I doing it. There is no I doing anything at all. Allah Bhagavan is doing. This, in our daily life, if we start practicing, then that is the Bhagavatam that we are living in our life. That is the Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is those stories. Bhagavatam is not merely just the stories. The stories also have only this purpose. This jnanam alone can ultimately liberate us. The stories are there so that listening to those stories, listening to the glories of the Lord, we may forget ourselves, and so forgetting, what will happen? We will lose this I and realize He alone is. A different way to do it. One is to make an inquiry within yourself and find out the unreality of this ego and destroy it thereby. The other is to completely forget this ego by becoming preoccupied in Him so that there is no sign of this ego at all, only He exists. These are the two options that we have got in front of us. Bhagavatam contains both of them here. The very outset of Bhagavatam speaks about the jnana. Same way Bhagavad Gita starts off with jnana. Sankhya Yoga Taladam Bhagavad Gita starts. Later on Bhakti Yoga becomes Sharanagati is the finale. Likewise here, Bhagavatam also starts with this jnana only. The reason for that is, this is the essence. This is the truth. Everything else is sarahasyam tadangam cha. Everything else is the secret way by which we can realize this truth. Sarahasyam. The commentators of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam have taken that word as sarahasyam. Bhagavan, before giving these 4 shlokas, told Brahma, listen, I will give you the truth and its realization along with the secret and the auxiliaries. What is the secret? The secret is what is going to come in Dashamaskandha. Dashamaskandha, secret is going to be revealed now. What is the secret? Krishna is not the secret. Krishna is Brahma. Krishna is that want to be realized. What is the secret? There are a few girls. They are going to reveal the secret to us. Yarina Gopikas. Gopikas are going to reveal the secret, and the prema that they had for Krishna is the secret way by which you can realize this Brahma. Secret way. Above, is there an outside way of doing? Sit down, conquer the body, conquer the mind, conquer the senses, conquer the breath, conquer everything that you can think of conquering. After that, focus inside. Don't be distracted outside. Get immersed in the pranava and stay in that state. This is the outside way. This is the outside way. Outside way is a secret way. Secret way, Bhagavan doesn't reveal the secret way to everybody. Bhagavan is also, the way Bhagavan works, we have to understand. He says, if you seek me, I want moksha, then do this. I want to go. You sit and meditate. But those who fell in love with him, our team Bhagavan said, go meditate, everybody. Meditate. Am I the same as everybody? You sit here. Now, let them meditate. You sit with me. We will watch them meditate. We will sit here and watch them meditate. Krishna, what are they meditating upon? They are meditating upon me only. Then why are they sitting there and meditating? They want to do it like that. You are sitting next to me. When you are sitting next to Krishna, what are you doing? What else can you do but meditate upon him? Are you not with him? Are you not in union with him? Are you not looking at him, talking to him? Bhakti, ada bhakti rasam, prema rasam. Bhakti evada prema manu shona. More than the word bhakti, the word prema has to be used. Because bhakti also has got certain formalities and regulations to it. Prema is this unbounded, untrammeled love, love unleashed, unplugged and unleashed about it, where you are crazy in that love. Anga ko vidhi ko nishedaha, where what kind of regulations can hold behind the person who's mad? Yeah, there's a mad person. Okay, he's gone mad. I want the boy, no, these are the rules and regulations. Will it apply to him? What are these things not applicable to me? Because he is mad. What kind of rules can you place upon a mad person? Like that, those who have become maddened in love, for them no rules can apply. They have reached a state that is high and beyond. That is Sarahasyam. For those people, there is a rahasyam. You come and sit next to me, you will just watch. Others, they are doing that way. Why? They want to do like that. They want to meditate, they are meditating. I didn't ask them to, they are meditating. But there are two ways. It's a rahasyam. And the rahasyata reveal pandrathu kada Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The truth is Krishna alone, is Bhagavan alone. Is. How do you realize this truth? You can either realize it through the process of controlling everything and going within and realizing it, or you can simply become so maddened in love that the ahankara drops off. There is no place or room for it. Adliye the realization happens. These two methods are what are revealed by Sri Shuka right at the outset. And he says, these two methods are there. Now that you asked me, come, I will tell you many stories of the Lord. Eventually, Tritiya Skandam starts. The third skanda of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam slowly starts. What happens in the Tritiya Skandam, the way it starts is very unique. Because suddenly Shuka hands over the entire process of storytelling to somebody else. He is going to tell about the way the stories were told to Uddhava, Vidura by Maitreya Muni. The rest of the whole thing is as though Maitreya Muni is saying it, but it is still Shuka recounting Maitreya's story. There's a story within story within story within story within story. I am telling you this. But I am recounting what Ugrashravas told Rishis in Naimisharanya. Who is recounting what Shuka told to Parikshit? Who is recounting what Maitreya told to Vidura? Maitreya, Vidura, Shuka, Parikshit, Ugrashravas and the Rishis, us. Tritiya Skandha. It starts with a beautiful meeting between Vidura and Uddhava. During the Mahabharata war, when the war was declared, Vidura was the third brother in the Kaurava family at that time. Dhritarashtra was the eldest brother. Pandu was his next younger brother. Third one was Vidura. Vidura was always devoted to the Lord, always devoted to Dharma. Vidura Niti ne solrom. He gave good advice to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra had no lack of advice around him. But he had one vice, which was he would not follow advice. No matter how many people advise you, you do not wish to follow the advice of what can anybody do to you. Dhritarashtra was like that. What is the advice that Vidura gave him? This fellow, you do one thing. If you want welfare for everybody, you do one thing. You exile your son Duryodhana. You kick out Duryodhana, all will be good for everybody. The father was not willing to kick out his own son. He said, no, send me something else. This alone can be told. So since he could not do it, it ultimately resulted in the entire war that caused the destruction of that clan. At the beginning, when Vidura was trying to dissuade Dhritarashtra and was trying to say him, give up this boy. Appo Duryodhana came in at that time. He said, you fellow, you are eating our food and ultimately you are working against my own interests. You are supposed to be my uncle, but you are behaving in such a bad way. Duryodhana started to castigate Vidura. Vidura felt unhappy. He said, enough is enough. I don't want to do anything to do with this war. On the one side are my nephews, on the other side are my nephews. I refuse to engage in this kind of war between nephews. So he had a bow. He was a great archer. He placed that bow there and he said, to hell with you. He walked away. And he started wandering around. He did not even want to know what was happening in this internecine conflict. He did not wish to know what was happening here. Both were his sides of family. He was not even interested in who is winning, who is losing, nothing. He gave up all ideas about it and wandered around everywhere in incognito, didn't tell anybody he was Vidura. Vidura, oh, I'll tell you what happened in the war. No need. He was wandering around. As he was wandering around, war finished. War came to an end. And he was coming near Kurujangalanu, it was near Hastinapura, outskirts of it. He was wandering around, he was walking there when suddenly he encountered another person coming opposite. Yaranu Bharta, Uddhava. Who's Uddhava? Krishnasya Daita Sakha. Krishna's close friend of Uddhava. Uddhava was sort of a cousin to Krishna. He was born in Mathura. When Bhagavan was growing up in Vrindavan, he was also a small boy growing up there. His mind was always fixed on Krishna, 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 Krishna Bhakti Madri. Later on in the Bhagavatam, we find how he lived his life. He wore the clothes that Krishna discarded. He wore the garlands that Krishna used and kept aside. He ate the food that Krishna ate and discarded. He wore the scents and perfumes after Krishna had used and discarded. He lived his life. He did not have anything for himself. He did not marry. He did not have a separate life of his own. His life was entirely around Krishna. He was Krishna's friend. He was Krishna's minister. He was Krishna's servant. Ella rolled into one. He would take care of Krishna and every way do everything for Krishna. Even as a small child, he would be so engrossed in Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. His mother had to call him for breakfast time. He would not come. He lost in Krishna's worship. He was living his life. But very intelligent. Uddhavo buddhi sattamaha. He was so extraordinarily intelligent that Brihaspati, the Deva Guru, heard about Uddhava's brilliance and immediately took him over to his Gurukula and taught him. Instead of Uddhava going and joining a Gurukula, the Guru came in search of Uddhava, pre-selected him and taught him everything. Uddhava was not only was he a genius, but more than that, he was extremely devoted to Krishna. And if you saw Uddhava, it was like seeing Krishna. Who is Gopikas themselves? He was looking exactly like Krishna. Dressed as Krishna. Not because he wanted to imitate Krishna, because he didn't buy any other clothes. He did not have any clothes of his own. Krishna bought clothes now. Krishna's clothes became old, Krishna has to give to Uddhava. Krishna had to buy a few clothes extra. I'll go to Uddhava. Here. Uddhava will have no clothes. Uddhava will have no food if Krishna doesn't leave something for him. Such a Uddhava and Vidura had a meeting. Vidura was also devoted to Bhagavan. Uddhava was also devoted to Bhagavan. When two devotees meet, more than their own kith and kin, this was their real family. And when they met each other and gave the Anandama, Vidura asked, where are you coming from, Uddhava? Why are you here? You will never leave Krishna's side. How come you are here? How come you are here? Tears arose in Uddhava's eyes. And he said, oh, you're asking this question. Alas, Bhagavan, who arose and gave so much delight and joy to us, has shed his physical form. He is no more in this earth. At the last moment, when he was about to give up his body, I went to him and I said, Swami, if you abandon me, what will happen? He gave me some advice. He gave me a lot of advice. In fact, he told me, you are my very self, Uddhava. Uddhava very openly, in a childlike manner, he shares that with Vidura. He said, Vidura, do you know what Krishna said? He said, you are very dear to me. And he told me to go to Badrikashrama and live there. Adhanala, I am going to Badrikashrama. Now, do you know what, Uddhava? Vidura, at the last moment, only two of us were there with Krishna. Maitreya Maharshi was there and I was there. And as we were both sitting there and talking, Bhagavan was giving some instructions to us. What instruction did he give you? Wait, listen. Bhagavan gave us some final Upadesha, and after giving all the Upadesha, you know what he said? What? He said, Cha, I wish our Vidura was also here. I wish our Vidura was also here. I mean, Bhagavan said, Uddhava told you. You can imagine Vidura's state. Bhagavan is about to finish his Leelavatara on the earth, and at that moment, what is he thinking about? Who is he thinking about? He is thinking about Vidura. Anyway, doesn't matter. Maitreya, you do one thing. You wait for Vidura. When Vidura comes, you tell him all this that we have been discussing. You tell him all this. What is Bhagavan thinking about all the time? Bhagavan, when he takes an avatara, he reveals to us what he thinks about. Otherwise, how do we know what he is thinking about? Bhagavan is thinking about Rasta. Bhagavan is thinking about the true devotees. All that time, he is only thinking about them. When Bhishma was lying on his deathbed, Bhagavan was sitting there meditating upon Bhishma. He saw that in the morning. When Bhagavan himself is going to finish his avatara and is giving final instructions to Uddhava and Maitreya Rishi, even there Bhagavan is thinking about Vidura. Our Vidura is missing out. Paraval, you convey everything to Vidura. And the moment, how did Vidura feel? Alas, I did not get to see him. But the fact that he remembered me, for me enough. Ennaduka pakam vadayalu sharanam vrajema. Appearpata Bhagavan nama kadikima, can we ever find another Bhagavan like him? Yenna. Appearpata daya. How was his daya? Appadina Putana came with the intention of killing him, even she got moksha. If Putana who came to kill him got moksha, appadina what to say of those who are devoted to him? Appadina solra, Kamva dayalum sharanam vraje. Bhagavan is our great friend, close friend. If you treat him like that, then Bhagavan is the greatest friend for us. Ippa matram illa. Not now, not in the Epapar, forever he has been our friend. Dina Bandhava Baba Daya Sagara. Dina Bandhava Baba Daya Sagara. Patita Pavana Sai Karuna Kara. Patita Pavana Sai Karuna Kara. Dina Bandhava Baba Daya Sagara. Satya Sai Prema Sai Shanti Dharma Sindhu Sai Jeevan Aadhar Sai Janam Janam Bandhu Sai. Who is this Sai na? Who is this Krishna abdina? Jeevan Aadhar Sai. He is the very basis of our life. And Janam Janam Bandhu Sai. He is the only friend, he is the only relative, the true relative who has come with us Janam, 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 birth after birth after birth after birth. Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Vrajema. Where else can we find such a Daya Sagara, such a Dayalu, such an extraordinary ocean of compassion for us to surrender to? Patita Pavana Sai Karuna Kara. The Karuna of Bhagavan, the compassion of Bhagavan, the Daya of Bhagavan. How can we speak of it in words? How can we ever comprehend it fully? Pure compassion. Yadyapi, he alone is. There is no change to that. He alone is. But even though the truth is that he alone is, when we consider the fact that He is so close to us, He's filled with so much compassion towards us, that He is thinking about us, that He is constantly looking to ensure our welfare. He's organizing people. He's sending Maitreya, you go sit there, Vidura will come, tell him everything. What is his trouble? Why should he undergo so much trouble to organize everything? That is the compassion that Bhagavan has. But did he do for everybody? No, he did it for Vidura. Why did he do it for Vidura? Vidura's nature was like that. How was Vidura's bhakti? There is a beautiful story that is narrated about Vidura's bhakti. Krishna came to Hastinapura as the messenger of peace. I have told you many times, Krishna was a major copycat. Everything Hanuman did, Krishna had to do. Hanuman did, I did. Hanuman was such a great bhakta. Bhagavan himself took him as a role model. Hanuman went as a messenger. So here, Krishna also came as a messenger to the Kaurava court. 14 years of exile had finished for the Pandavas. It was time for them, their real rightful kingdom to be returned to them, which they had lost in a bet. But Duryodhana was not willing to give it. So it seemed like war was the only way to reclaim their rightful property. But Yudhishthira was still a bit unhappy. He said, let us try it just once more. It's after all our own brothers. Perhaps they will change their mind. I wish we could send somebody as an ambassador of peace. But hey Krishna, pick me. So everybody said, Krishna, you going as a mere messenger won't be nice. I mean, everybody said. Sahadeva, he was one of the 5 Pandavas, youngest fellow. He said, actually speaking, if you want peace, we should not send this fellow. If you don't send him, perhaps there's a chance of peace. If you send him, definitely war. Krishna looked at Sahadeva. Oh, this fellow seems to have found out our real intentions. And how do you propose to stop me? You should be tied up. Only then you cannot escape. When he was young, he was tied up. You should be tied up. Bhagavan laughed. Yashoda also tried to tie me up. It didn't work for her. Until I gave permission, it didn't work. How do you plan to tie me up? Very easy. Sakadeva said, very easy. Okay, let me see. Tie me up, let me see. Krishna challenged him. Sakadeva sat down, closed his eyes. In his heart, he pictured the Lord standing in the lotus of his heart and started tying him up. With what? Bhakti Sutropanam. Apart from prema, apart from bhakti, there is no other rope that can bind him. Prema Pashatanala Kataram Shudanam Sakadeva tied up the Lord with prema. Outside Krishna was standing there thinking, Krishna became suddenly immobilized. Krishna could not move. Everybody is wondering what is happening. Sakadeva said he's going to tie up Krishna. Krishna is just standing there. Sakadeva is just sitting there. What is going on? Only Krishna and Sakadeva know what is going on. Then Krishna slowly inside Sakadeva, within Sakadeva's heart said, Oi, let me be. This has to be done. Understand? Okay, you've proven your point. Alright, you tied me up. Now untie me. I have to go and create this war. This is part of the purpose of my mission. Let me be. Dharma Yuddha with him. Okay. He untied him, then Krishna could go. Finally Krishna came to Hastinapura. He tried to do whatever efforts he could do to get peace, but Duryodhana said, no way, I'm not going to give even a smallest piece of land to Pandavas. He was categorical in his position. Fine, I will go back and tell this news, Krishna. But anyway, you have come. We have organized for a big feast for you. We have organized a great big feast for you. Today you can have feast in our royal feast, Duryodhana. Bhagavan jana home feast evantamma. No thank you. I do not wish to eat here. Bhagavan came away. Bhagavan refused that hospitality and came away. But Pashikame, okay, you said no to the food there, but your stomach will still grumble. You have to go somewhere for food. Bhagavan Partha, where can I go to Partha? Nobody invited him there, and Bhagavan went. Bhagavan went to Vidura's house. Duryodhana ki meva tyago साग विदुर घर कायो सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई सबसे ऊंची प्रेम सगाई सबसे Prema Sagai. This Sagai, this engagement, Sagai na engagement. This Sagai of Prema, this engagement that we have with the Lord with love is the highest, the greatest of things, because what did Bhagavan do now? He discarded the great royal feast of Duryodhana. Instead, he went to Vidura's house. How did he go to Vidura's house? He went to Vidura's house. Vidura had not yet come back from the palace. He had already gone to Vidura's house. Went and knocked on the door. Toc, 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 toc. Chinna Vidura, despite being the royal descendant, one of the three brothers, but he did not have any wealth, nothing. He had a very small house, chumma one bedroom house. He and his wife lived there. Very simple house there. Vidura was not there, nobody else was at home. Vidura's wife was in the shower. She was having a shower. And somebody is knocking on the door and who is it? It is me. Vidura answered. I. Non. Who is you? Nan. I am I. Who else can Bhagavan introduce himself as I am I? Who is this Nan? Seri po. Not everybody can understand Nan. Nan is the truth. Nan is the real name of the Lord. Aham is the first name of the Brahman. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says. And everybody cannot understand that word I, Aham. Adanale he gives another name. Krishna has come. Krishna has come. Krishna has come. She immediately rushed out of the bathroom, draped some sari in some kacha-mucha way. In all haphazard way, she draped the sari around her and came rushing and opened the door. Krishna is standing all alone. Krishna is standing. Swami, please come in. He has not yet come back home. Doesn't matter. I'm very hungry. I'm very hungry. Can you give some food to me now? Oh, Bharata, Bhagavan has come to our house. What will I cook for him? Odi Bharata. All that was there was a bit of rice in the house. Chadam dhan. So she immediately made rice. And something has to go with rice, Ilya. There was nothing that day. Somehow Vidura had to bring something, only then she will cook. The thing was that then she went out in the garden, spinach was growing. She cut that spinach, brought it and made saag with it. He was ready to eat just the rice and the spinach in Vidura's house rather than eat the royal feast at Duryodhana's house, because bhakti is here, prema is here. Bhagavan is here. While cooking is happening, Vidura returned. Vidura brought a bunch of bananas with him. Krishna himself refused to eat today. Why should we eat? Bananas are enough. If at all we feel hungry, we'll eat some bananas. And he brought a bunch of bananas. Again, he entered and said, I'm back home. He comes inside. Krishna is sitting there. Small chair. Ram Shankar, Chalam Chal. Krishna is sitting there. Swami, when did you come? He fell flat on Krishna's feet. I felt hungry. So I thought I was coming this way. Anyway, I said, move to food there. I came here and she's making food. Can you smell it? Very nice. Very nice. No, really, hunger is killing me. I'm feeling so hungry. Yo, Swami, you are feeling hungry. Immediately he took those bananas that he had. And looking at Krishna's beautiful face, Vidura peeled those bananas with great love. He peeled those bananas and he was so lost in that love that what he did, absent-mindedly, he put the fruit away and gave the peel to Krishna. And what did Bhagavan do? We do not know what appeal the peel had for him. And he took that peel and started to eat it. Looking at the joy in Vidura's face, looking at the prema in Vidura's face, Bhagavan is eating the peel of the bananas. This is Vidura's bhakti. His eye was lost a long time ago. In what was it lost now? In Bhagavan that eye was lost. There was no eye left in him. Adanala Bhagavan is remembering Vidura and he says, Our Vidura is not here. Doesn't matter. You tell Vidura everything. Abdini he gives the duty to Maitreya Muni and he tells you everything. Now Vidura says, how can I ever, in what words can I encapsulate the Ananda of Vidura? Yeah. Bhagavan is talking about you. Bhagavan is thinking about you. The whole world is thinking about him. The whole world is talking about him. Such a Bhagavan should speak about you, especially in your absence. What bhagyam do we need from Vidura and Uddhava spent that night speaking only about Krishna. Krishna Leela, Krishna Charitram, Krishna's doings, Krishna's behavior, Krishna's love, Krishna's compassion, everyone there, Krishna Katha. In the morning, He did not sleep a wink, but in the morning, Vidura said, now I have to carry on with my prayanam to Badrikashram. I'm going there. You go to Haridwar, where Maitreya Muni is waiting for you. And the Bukanda, you have to go somewhat in the same direction. So he went to Haridwar. He proceeded further upwards to Badrikashram. Haridwar, Maitreya Muni was waiting. As soon as Vidura came, come, I'm waiting for you. Come sit. He made him sit down there. Although Uddhava had told Vidura, Maitreya Muni is waiting to give you Bhagavan's words. So Vidura did not go there and sit down and said, it seems Krishna told you, gave some message. Tell me, what is it? Instead, he is Jnani, great Rishi. So he fell at his feet, sat down at his feet, and like a disciple should ask, Pariprashnena, he asked him, Sukaya karmani karoti loka, nataihi sukham va anyad uparamam va, vindeta bhuyas tatayeva dukkham, yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. Vidura asks Maitreya, in this world everybody is doing action, performing action. For what purpose are they performing action? They are all performing action for the sake of joy. Everybody wants to be happy. For happiness' sake, they are doing action. Sukhaya karmani karoti. And despite doing all of those actions for the sake of happiness, nataihi sukham, they do not seem to get any happiness. See, forget it, they don't get happiness, at least has sorrow gone away. Va anyad uparamam va. The opposite of sukha, which is dukkha, is also not going away. Sukha is also not coming, dukkha is also not going away. Joy is not coming, sorrow is not going away, but we are all working. In the situation where more and more sorrow alone comes, vindeta bhuyaha tatayeva dukkham, more and more sorrow alone comes to us, no matter what we do. In such a situation, what should we do? Yad atra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. What is the appropriate thing for us to do here? Instead of all of this getting caught up in this bondage of karma, what is the ideal thing we should do to attain happiness? And then he asks the question. Maitreya started to narrate a whole series of stories. First story that he narrated was what we've already seen, which Shukas narrated, Brahma meeting Bhagavan and getting that instruction. Brahma doing tapasya, getting that instruction, then love. What we've already seen, that was the first story narrated. And always, all these things have to begin with jnana only. Jnana has to be first clearly established. After the means for jnana has to be established. And a goal is primary. Without knowing the goal, without knowing the destination, how can you start your journey? The rest of it is the journey. You're going out for a journey. Where are you going? I don't know. Then where are you going? How can you go if you do not know where you're going? You need to know where you're going. Destination first has to be ascertained. What is the destination? He is the destination. What is the goal? He is the goal. What is the end? He is the end. What are the means? What are the means? Means and ends. The goal and the method to attain the goal. There is a story in this context. Rashara Bhattar was in Srirangam giving discourses on the truth, on Bhagavan. But there was one particular devotee who would always attend the sessions amongst all the others. One day this man was late. He was late. Bhattar did not start the discourse, he was waiting. Everybody else had come, that person was late, but Bhattar was not starting the discourse. As soon as he saw him come, he came down, sat down, then he started the discourse. Everybody, it was clear to everybody, he was waiting for this one man only. So naturally doubts started to come into everybody. Why should he wait for this one man to start the discourse? What is so great about this one man? Are we not so many of us here? So Bhattar understood and realized these thoughts that were going on in everybody's heads. So he asked a question to everybody. He said, okay, here's a question. What is the end? What is the goal of our life? Upeyam yenna. What is the upeya? What is the goal of life? Everybody, having heard the discourse for so long, everybody said Narayana is the goal, Bhagavan is the goal, Lord is the goal, liberation is the goal. Everybody said it. Okay, goal was clear. What are the means? What are the means? One follows at bhakti, one follows at sharanagati, one follows at jnana, one follows at yoga. Everybody was saying this person for whom Bhatter had been waiting and also sitting there, Bhatter looked at him and said, what about you? What do you say? What is the goal? Bhagavan is the goal. What are the means? Bhagavan is the means. Upayam is Bhagavan, Upayam is also Bhagavan. Upayam, the method of attaining him, is also him only. The goal of all of those methods is also him. Apart from Bhagavan, nothing else is there. So, Jnanam is the goal that has to be clearly established. How to attain Jnanam? By listening to his stories only we can attain Jnanam. Another, he is the Upayam also. To attain him, we have to sing his glories. We can't do something separate to him and to hope to attain him. To attain him, we have to sing his glories. We have to think about him. We have to remember him. Adanala, tell me the stories of the Lord in Kekara. Vidura says, tell me, fill my ears with the stories and the glories of the Lord, because my ears have been tired by listening to your friends talk. So, Vidura says to Maitreya, your friend or Tarkare, your friend, Yarana, Vyasa, your Appa. Your friend, my father. Vyasa is sort of the father for Vidura. And he is also Maitreya's friend. Vyasa, all the time, the drop of a hat, I told you yesterday, he will talk about Dharma. Topi kaya vandu Dharma pati anuchudu. Topi na kaya vandu adala Dharma. Illa eduthu podukongo. Ipdi panna Dharma, apdi panna Dharma. Ipdi panna idu thotta Dharma, adu thotta Dharma. Ipdi Dharma Dharmangala patiye pech. Achana, my ears are stuffed with Dharma talk. Do not talk Dharma to me. Talk Prema to me. Talk Prema to me, talk Bhagavad Prema to me. Ultimately, Bhagavan remembered me because of the love that he has for me. I only want to hear about love. Abdini Channar, Yakarna Nadim Purushasya Yato Bhavav Pradam Geharatim Chinati. Speak to me his stories, the stories of love of Bhagavan, because when those stories enter into these ears, what do? Abdina, they activate a special nadi, a special nerve. Yakarna nadim purushasya yataha. It awakens, activates that purushas, that karna nadi, and as a result of it, what does it do? Bhava pradam geharatim chinati. It destroys that attachment that we have to this world, which is what is giving rise to constant rebirth. Why are we born again and again? Not because of your sins and merits. Because you are too attached to this world, so you are being born again. You want to come back, therefore you come back. As simple as that. Why are we born again and again? Because you wish to, you want to, you do not wish to go away from here, so you keep coming here. Nobody else can be blamed for this. Our own desire for it. And the children, but if that desire, if that attachment has to be destroyed, there is only one way. Let me become attached to him. Fill my ears with his stories. Fill my ears with his glories. Fill my ear with his name, so that I will not think about anything else. I will not wish to think about anything else. I will only think about him and attain him. We will stop here. And all the stories of Maitreya Muni, etc., we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have a slight change in the order in which we are doing this Saptaham. Usually we do Saptaham Skanda by Skanda. But tomorrow evening, there is the unique conjunction of Swati Nakshatra. The Swati star is there tomorrow. And Narasimhavataram happened when Swati was there in the evening. Abhina tradition tells us. Therefore, since tomorrow evening Swati has come, that means Narasimha wishes to come. Narasimhavataram wishes to happen tomorrow. Adhanara, by Bhagavan's grace, tomorrow we will jump to Saptama Skandam, have Bhagavan Narasimha appear, and then we will backtrack a little bit and go back to Tritiya Skandam, Chaturtha Skandam. Gopika Jivana Smaranam Govinda Govinda Sarve Bhakti Sugnaha Sarve Santanagamiya Sarve Mandirani Nashyantu Makashi Yakavamari Loka Samastha Sugno Loka Samastha Sugno Bhavantu Loka Samastha Sugno Bhavantu Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Shri Sai Ishvara